This is Bottom of the Bill. I'm not a huge fan of the Dead.
I've heard your unpopular opinions on John Mayer. They're very unpopular in my neighborhood.
Yeah, of course. I'm sure all the musicians hate me that have heard that. So it's also like a halfway joke. Obviously, nobody could replace Jerry, but I mean, you know, John Mayer is a cleaner player. What are you gonna do?
Cleaner. I'm just upset they even tried, really. It's just clearly such a money grab now, you know?
It's like a shitty movie they got made like 7 times in a row.
If the aliens and the presidents aren't actually... They're not distracting us from each other. They are the same thing. Have you ever seen an alien and Joe Biden in the same room together? You know?
You raised some good points here.
And I don't mean to point any fingers. I have heard mumblings that someone in this room might be of an alien race sent to spy on the humans.
If I was, I would definitely want you to believe that those hearings were bullshit.
No one said it was you.
I didn't say.
So are you saying that you are?
Well, I'm just saying. I don't know who else has a bullshit rumor about them being reptilian going around. But
you know, I'm going to look into these hearings. I'm curious if there's more evidence than you're leading on.
Oh, please do. Please do.
Yeah.
First introduction without having a guest
In a
minute.
yeah, in a hot second.
Fucking what's going on, bro? You guys had a long weekend.
Totally. A nice little road adventure down to Miami and back in 36 hours or something like that.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was good. Played a private party for some of Chelsea's family and friends, and those are always the hardest gigs to do, like playing for people that like you're connected to, and even like small intimate venues like Blue Jay they're fun, but there's still this kind of anonymous aspect where here it's like you're just sitting right with all these people that know everything about your musical journey and everything. So it was fun though. Like it rained and there was just like, you know, a lot of energy going on. So those are always hard things to like overcome. But even with that, it was still like, we still pulled off like a really cool, fun musical night. And like, I know Chelsea had like a lot of great family time. So that's, you know, it was a great weekend. That's all that matters.
Yeah. Her family is always a lot of fun too.
Oh, they're a fucking riot.
Yeah.
Both her siblings and their significant others were there. And like, yeah, when all of them are cooking, it is just like rapid fire. Like,
yeah, dude.
My family is nothing like that.
Whenever Chelsea's mom comes to town, I want to preface this by saying that I love her family so much.
Dearly.
But whenever her mom comes to town, the two of them just start fucking going. It's just one after another. I'm just like, by 10 minutes in, I'm exhausted. I'm going to lay down.
Yeah.
But you guys are... I can't keep up.
They're speaking their own language. Like, and they're just anticipating each other's thoughts. In a way, I'm like... I missed 3 words or something. Like somehow y'all knew what you were talking about, and I just whoa.
Yeah, there's a lot of fucking ADD flying around.
Yeah,
yeah.
and her brothers are a similar way too.
Oh yeah,
they're hilarious. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're awesome.
The Connolly clan is a great time.
Yeah,
so that was fun to go to. I've known all of them for as long as I've known you guys, pretty much. And, seeing all of them again was fun and just cutting loose. Driving wasn't too bad. You know, Miami's. Yeah, we just made it happen. Got down, got back, and then got back to the hustle.
Yeah.
Was fun. Yeah.
Hell yeah, man. Yeah, I just played some gigs. Let me just look at my calendar.
You did Bedlam.
I played at Bedlam. Yeah, the place is
that.
dope, man. I like what Jesse's doing over there. It's a cool spot.
Nice. Good turnout and good vibe and everything.
Yeah, and it's like the flow of the place is nice. You know, it's like the food trucks and you get the bar and you get like the little outdoor area. It's got a nice like flow to it. Mm-hmm. So that was cool. There's this one fucking dude that was annoying the shit out of me as usual. I like to just kind of give these little excerpts, or I guess these little inside behind the scenes stuff into what I experience every weekend at my gigs. And this time, this guy, it's literally the first fucking song, okay? And I hate when people do this, is that they try and keep time with you, but they do it in a way that's so loud and overbearing. This guy's taking his phone and literally slamming it on the bar, trying to like keep time with me, and it's just so not in time.
Yeah.
And I'm like sitting there. So I usually have a move that I do when this happens, right? What I like to do is I will bring my volume considerably down so that douchebag knows that they're being loud, and hopefully they stop. This dude was so drunk and just like unaware that he had no idea, and it really didn't make that much of a difference because the acoustics in the room are actually pretty nice.
Yeah.
But what that means is that things carry. So even if I wasn't playing super loud, it was still carrying. And his stuff didn't seem any louder. It was just fucking loud the whole time. So, and it threw me off a couple of times where I had my looper going and I'm going to kick, maybe I turn the looper off for like, a measure or two. And I go to kick it back on and I'm losing time because he's sitting there still keeping time.
Professor Polyrhythm over at the bar over there.
Yeah, Professor Polyrhythm.
is over there just inventing a new metric system.
And then his wife, I could look at her and tell she's like uncomfortable and trying to like calm him down. This dude probably beats her, honestly. He seemed like that kind of a guy.
He seems like he was practicing, honestly.
Yeah. And she's like timidly kind of rubbing his back. Okay, honey, And then eventually the bartender goes like, hey man, can you stop? And the guy goes, oh, my bad, I'm sorry. And they end up leaving like, 10 minutes later. But I was like, dude, I can't fucking,
You should have Brett Bass the situation. Left your looper pedal on, taken his phone and smacked him across the face with it.
Man, I hate conflict at bars like that because you don't know, these people are drunk also. You don't know what they're capable of.
Yeah.
And it's like, they could be carrying a gun or
they
whatever.
Don't know what you're capable of. You're a lethal weapon. You're a trained machine.
A trained machine.
You can take their kneecaps out like that.
I barely have any fucking awareness of what I'm doing in that regard. Although Muay Thai has been, wonderfully helpful in, and I've noticed a lot of progress in the gym actually lately, and that's been good. I don't know how effective I would be using it in the street because there are a lot of elements, I think the Muay Thai is the most effective stand-up game that would equate nicely in the street. There's also a lot of rules in the gym that you don't have on the street.
Sure.
That kind of throws some things out the window. And also I'm not like a fighter, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't like confrontation, specifically physical confrontation, because I've seen wild shit happen in real life.
Totally.
And I just assume that people are capable of the craziest shit for no reason. So when I see people start getting like up and like they start like, wanting to like throw down and shit, I'm like, dude, this is going down a bad path and I don't want to take it there.
Yeah.
So I will quickly avoid it if I can. And there's no exception when I'm on stage.
Yeah.
I certainly don't want to draw that kind of attention to myself. So I should probably be more assertive about it in those scenarios and not let the bartender have to make that call. But also, I'm the fucking entertainment dude. My job is to bring joy to people's life. Why do I have to sit here and call out bullshit? You know what I mean?
Do that and bring joy.
I guess.
People would enjoy that.
They probably would. You're right. I would be solving a problem that everybody else is very annoyed by.
And you can do it with your nice, quick, witty, dryness. Just decapitate him from the stage.
Quick witty. I am so not quick, dude.
Well,
I'm like the exact opposite.
You can appear that way if you spend 20 minutes thinking about it when you're playing.
That's true.
You're like, I got time to load this one up, and he's still going. All right.
That's true. Yeah, I do try and do that sometimes. I'll try and look at somebody who's annoying me in the audience and try and pick it apart, so that if they do something, I'm ready to go.
Yeah, totally. I always have those with Freebird jokes. Like I've got a few comebacks like loaded usually, and I'll attack their physical appearance and relate it to that somehow.
Yeah.
just got to,
Yeah. And then last night I went to the Blue Jay Jam and I saw all those guys. Sailor Jane performed. She crushed it. She sounded really good.
She was the feature.
Yeah. And they had this guy Ferris on bass.
Yeah.
You know him?
Ferris Nix is killing.
My first time seeing him. He's awesome, man. He's so good.
He's great.
And Pete on guitar. He's so fucking good.
What a slept on guy in the Jacksonville music scene.
Yeah, bro, because you only see him in the context of JJ.
And that one Blue Jay gig. But in terms of like, let's call them sleeping giants that live in the city, he is among the top of them.
Yeah.
I mean, he is truly one of and just a fun, quirky dude. Like every time I see him, he's just like so friendly, like he's just like check out what I'm using. You want to play through my rig? You want to like, and he's just goofy, but he'll get up there and just play some soul bearing shit. It's really cool.
Yeah, he's so good, man. He's got all these, like, just his comfortability of the fretboard wherever he's at doing whatever. It's so like I watch him. I'm like, that guy just, he doesn't have to think about anything he's doing up there. He just got it.
And and that's ramped up to every level because you see him play with JJ and he plays the gig perfectly.
Yeah,
like
totally.
plays exactly what he needs to. And then you see him at Blue Jay, and like they don't always go into like the heady stuff, but like they can hit these jazz places, and he's right there with some cool fusion ideas.
Oh yeah,
and some even some kind of deep harmony pop stuff. Like it's all there too. He's got, and it's all comfortable. He's like, he doesn't stretch when he goes to the higher level. It's comfort top to bottom.
Yeah, man.
He's high class. All those cats are there.
Yeah, Eric was throwing some shit out there last night too. All this reharming and like all this shit. And I was like, damn, dude, throwing those chops out there. Because again, another guy that you see in the context of either Mofro or like Bay Kings and stuff.
Yeah.
Which obviously is great, but like you don't get to see him. When you see him at that jam, you get to see him stretch out a little bit more.
That's their jungle gym.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
They go once a month and they go cut loose with their buddies and have fun.
Yeah, and Craig too, man. Craig is always throwing out some weird polyrhythmic shit out there.
Yeah, and
it's like fun.
It lines up really nicely.
Yeah,
yeah. That's a great one. I hadn't been to a Monday jam in 6-8 months. It's been a long time.
It's been a while for me too.
But those are some of the most fun musical jams, and the sparsity is what keeps that one so fresh and popping.
Yeah, we gotta get the word out more about shit at Blue Jay, man. We gotta keep that place going.
Totally,
it's fucking
it's a hard industry. Like we've just lost a 13-year-old venue. And you take it for granted because there's such staples in the scene. You can never take a venue for granted.
No,
especially one that's intimate and like curates such a uniquely special thing.
Yeah, it's such a. Care has really cultivated a place for musicians there.
It is
like,
such a safe space musically.
Yeah.
Like, there are certain, like I played there with Time Wise, and like the response we get there, you hardly can get that in the Southeast, especially with a very avant-garde musical style in general, let alone, this is the second gig ever. And she was so welcome. It's such a great space for any genre.
Yeah,
I mean,
man.
it's unreal.
I've had some of my best nights at that place, like fucking playing with Joe Marcinek, or just like, getting up there and just playing with, doing my own show there, or like whatever it might be. Just like I've had so many good times playing. It was refreshing because I hadn't been there in so long. As you get caught up with shit, you know what I mean? And then I went there for Taylor's birthday last week.
Nice.
And just saw them, and what a killer. I mean, he had Paulie on drums.
Cool.
First off, I hadn't seen Paulie out in a while.
Right.
And then I've never heard him play jazz. I've only seen him play with like Fat Cactus or Fill In For You Guys or whatever. And that's, but then you see him in the context of jazz and you're like, oh, it all makes sense now.
He is truly a legend in terms of people he's played with and stuff he does. And even when he's playing those other gigs at such a high level, it is sleepwalking for him.
Yeah.
And he is extremely accomplished, and doesn't go out much. He's got a lot going on.
Yeah.
You get him in his element and he's going to speak. Yeah,
man. And it was cool. Then I saw Stefan there, and, Stefan's like more my age, but he, as a drummer, man, he is like one of the best as far as I'm concerned. Mm-hmm. And it was cool because he's like helping at the end of the night. He's helping Paulie load some shit up, and I'm just like, look at the respect here. We're talking about like Stefan, who's like just such an amazing drummer and doesn't even need to be here. He can just be at home chilling right now. He works enough, whatever. Yeah. He gets enough music consumption. He probably doesn't need to be out at a jam consuming music.
Yeah.
But he was there like as just an audience member, and then helping this guy of the previous generation who probably set some, standard for him to live up to, helping him break down, carry shit out at the end of the night. Yeah. It's just like, you just see that respect, you know what I mean?
Nice. It's great to see.
It's a classy move. I like it.
Very cool. Anything else going on this week?
I don't think so.
Only other thing I wanted to tag was I started prepping for this gig. I'm MDing for Madison Hughes, this singer from Nashville that was on The Voice. And playing a bunch of her original stuff and MDing the band on that. So put together the group, and it's Ramos on bass, Jessica Hope on keys, Millie on fiddle and mandolin, and then Craig Rieger on drums.
Oh, hell yeah.
We had our first rehearsal yesterday. That is going to be a cool gig and a cool little, if that band plays often, but she's never played with a band ever. Her only other band experience is playing with the band on The Voice for 90 seconds.
Wow.
Everything else has been solo acoustic.
Wow.
So she's got great tunes. She works, through The Voice, has linked up with some cool producers up in Nashville, and the collaborations they have put together on some of these tunes are incredible. But she's so open to like a band setting because she has no precedent of
Right.
like what that should sound like or look like. So we checked out all of her tunes and like got them spot to the record. And then she started giving carte blanche for like, take a solo here, do a medley, do this, do that. So like, and it's such a high caliber group of people, and it's such a fun hang because like, I kind of cherry picked all these players for certain reasons, and some of them knew each other, some of them didn't, but we all got into one room and like, it was just instant camaraderie. Like everyone has the same kind of mental, just like they know what they're walking into, they know the vibe, they know the hang. And Madison was just thrilled, like that everyone took the time to like learn the tunes. She sent everything out Saturday evening, like 9 tunes, and everyone had them good to go Monday morning. Like everyone took that time to like kick it into high gear, really take the time to like chart everything out, take it in, and then come up prepared. That is a surprisingly rare thing these day and age, like for everyone in the group to do it. I just had to brag on all those guys,
Hell
because
yeah.
they did exactly what I hoped they would do. They came correct, and it was dope. It was
Awesome,
very
man.
cool. So that
When's this happening?
September 17th at Underbelly.
Okay.
So this will this will be out
Yeah.
September 17th. KDO's opening. It'll be after the Jags Chiefs game. So come celebrate the only loss of the season at Underbelly.
Hell yeah.
It'll be dope.
Cool. All right. Well, yeah, I want to make sure to check that out too if I'm not working.
Definitely.
I'll
It's
be
a
out there.
Sunday. So
Oh.
yeah, come hang.
Perfect. All my Sunday gigs have been canceled. So
Awesome. All right, so I got this one for you. This week on the show, we've got Starcaller boys, KP and Jeremy Prince. These are two of my best friends. It's a shame their music is so terrible because they're such great guys.
wow, really selling your boys here down the river.
No, man, this is some of the coolest music coming out of Jacksonville. Currently, they have got a ton of music backlogged, and they're just so creative and always writing. And they're young, hungry guys that have got a great band, a great work ethic, and they're just funny dudes. They're just a great hang. So many inside jokes. I mean, we've played in so many different bands. I live with KP, so like there was just a flow on this episode that was a riot.
Yeah, it was definitely one of our more unconventional episodes, but that's what I liked about
Yeah,
it.
totally.
It
It's
was
nice
cool.
to shake it up a little bit.
It was a lot of fun. These guys are a fun bunch of kids.
Yeah.
Not really kids, but
We did have a kid on the show, actually.
who?
KP. From
Yeah, that's right.
from 10 years back.
Yeah, don't give it away. You gotta just watch the episode and see
That's
how
all
it
you
plays
get.
out.
It's time travel. It's
Yeah.
a crazy thing.
Yeah.
a little time warp magic.
So wild. I forgot about that.
Yeah, we had a time warp. A sex worker joined the show too.
Yeah.
It was a weird. We've never had that many people stop in,
Yeah.
like uninvited.
Yeah.
actually, but they all got their time.
Yeah.
Like it was we were really open to all the energies that
Yeah.
came through.
It was a good one. It was definitely an enjoyable experience for all of us. And I hope that you enjoy it as well. So without further ado, here is KP and Jeremy of Starcaller.
This is Bottom of the Bill. Fucking love Nickelback.
Yeah, dude.
I fucking hate Nickelback, dude. Are you kidding?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, that's
He is
exactly what he was
kidding.
doing.
Oh, thank God. All right.
Jeremy just walked in apparently.
Yeah. Yep.
He's arrived.
Jeremy
everybody.
was late, guys, for everyone.
I love Foo Fighters, though.
You know?
Yeah, I feel like they're vastly different though.
That is.
I wouldn't know because I hate both of them. They all sound the same to me.
You don't like the Foo Fighters?
No.
You know what it is I like about the Foo Fighters more than the music itself, which I do like the music, but Dave Grohl is just like the last rock star.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Well,
I like
and-
Dave Grohl.
To me, they're the last rock band. Like any band you think of and like try to categorize has got some kind of, like, you call them like blues rock or what, but like the Foos are rock. They're
Do
rock
people call
and-
them the Foos, or is that
I
what you
don't
do? Okay.
I think that's
I'm
what
not
he
that
does.
deep of a fan, you know, but
Okay, the Foos.
But he says foos to act like he's that
Foos.
deep of a fan. But that's really not actually a thing.
Foo life.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Oh no! What about we played a Foo Fighters tune on a gig recently, and the only reason we played it is because Kevin knew the whole thing front to back and taught it to all of us in real time.
So cute.
I don't recall.
Oh, sure you don't, buddy.
I have to
Wait.
freshen up my memory over there, Copperhead.
All right, Kyle Pyle.
Wait, on the gig?
On the gig.
You explained to them all the changes.
No,
and
in real
everything?
time, he knew the whole tune front to back and was like shouted us through the changes, the breaks, and everything. Sang the tune. He's a fan.
I did that.
He's a fan.
I did that.
Fuck
actually.
yeah. There's
You're
nothing
a
wrong.
fan, dude.
Kyle Pyle
For
is one of the
money.
last rock
You like
stars
Foo
out there.
Fighters.
But that's not a shitty band to like, though, right? The Foo Fighters are like a cool
No,
band.
no.
To,
That's
to like.
they're a good band.
Borderline.
Yeah.
They're a good band. I
Borderline.
just don't like them.
You just
They
don't like 'em.
Their shirts are definitely sold at Target, you know, so
Yep.
you get a little bit of like,
But so are like Led Zeppelin and the Doors.
yeah.
Even the Grateful Dead.
Yeah.
The Dead are
Sure.
into. I actually have a Dead Target shirt now.
Do you really?
So, but are the Dead a shitty band to like? You know,
Yep.
Well, depends on who you ask. I would say no.
if I ask
but,
you, yeah, what are we talking?
I'm not a huge fan of the Dead.
I've heard your unpopular opinions on,
Okay.
on John Mayer. They're very unpopular in my neighborhood.
Yeah, of course. I'm sure all the musicians hate me that have heard that. So it's also like a halfway joke. Obviously, nobody could replace Jerry, but I mean, you know, John Mayer is a cleaner player. What are you
I'm
gonna
just
do?
okay, cleaner. I'm just upset they even tried. Really, it's just clearly such a money grab now. You know.
Yeah. Well, didn't they just wrap it up though? You think they're coming back for another one?
They put a little question mark on the whole thing.
It's
boy.
like it's like a shitty movie they got made like 7 times in a row.
Yeah, we're
But
on.
like the first 4 or 5 times, it was really good.
Like the Marvel franchise?
And then they hired a new
Yes, he
actor to
does.
play fucking whatever it is.
Jason Bourne.
Yeah, Jason Bourne,
It's like the-
Ocean's 11
like,
or whatever.
or like the James Bond franchise. It was like great when you had Sean Connery.
Yeah. Well, those are still. It's Fast and Furious. That's a perfect
Fast and
example.
Furious.
Well, those were.
There's like 8 of those, right?
Yeah.
I guess I haven't really seen them. I can't speak.
I mean, at least they didn't use a hologram version of Jerry like they did with Paul Walker. You know what I mean?
That's rough. That's
Yeah.
They did that in The Sopranos too, man.
They did with who?
With Tony's mom, Livia. There's this episode where they she had died in real life, so her character was still like alive in the show. So there's this weird episode where you see it's just an old woman's body, and then the face is just CGI of her. And all they had was these little snippets of her one-liners. So her and Tony are talking for a second, and then it's just oh, you know, I wish the Lord would take me. She does her old lady shit. And then you find out oh no, she's dead. The character died.
Oh,
Yeah, but they had to kind of kill her off using the CGI for an episode. It's really weird.
I did not even know that.
If you you know, I don't know if you ever watched it. but-
Oh, I've seen it a lot of times.
yeah, it's I want to say season 3 or 4 when her character dies and she had already been dead. So yeah,
That's so wild. They did the same thing with Chef and Isaac Hayes in South
South Park,
Yeah.
yeah.
On the episode where they kill Chef off, they weren't allowed.
I remember that
Isaac
now.
Hayes had quit already,
Yeah.
so they had to take snippets of previous episodes, which is why the cadence was all off when he was talking.
Yeah, well, didn't they spin it off he got brainwashed
Yeah,
or whatever?
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's so weird. I remember that.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy what they do. And then, but I also like how creative they are with the spin, you know?
Yeah,
So they work in the glitch into the episode.
Well, so how did Paul Walker die in Fast and Furious? Or was he just like an Obi-Wan, like he is dead and he is a hologram?
No. They CGI'd his face into the movie, but I don't think he dies in that movie.
Is he like is the new Fast and Furious still have Paul Walker?
I don't think so, but I forget. Maybe Chris can look it up. If he dies if his character dies in that movie, I don't know.
Look it up.
But he definitely died in real life, and then they weren't able to use in a car accident, which is ironic. And
The James Dean of our time.
but he wasn't a good actor though.
That's true.
No, I didn't watch any of his
correct.
movies.
You haven't watched any Paul Walker movies?
I've watched. I'm sure I've watched some.
You're not missing out.
Just like I can't think of any off the top of my head.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame you.
There's cars. If anything with a car in it from like the mid 2000s, it's probably got him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, Google told me he died during Fast and Furious.
yeah, I know that.
On the set.
Okay. Thank you,
While
Chris.
shooting.
That's what Google said.
The deep dive guy. I don't fucking know.
Look. All right. Keep talking. I'll figure it out.
Anyways, Starcaller.
That's right. That's us.
I listened to.
Oh, did we start?
Yeah. Yes. This is going to be the best clipped episode by far.
Sweet.
Everyone's gonna be like, "Why don't we have
something right.
clips from our episode? Because there's too many good ones from this one."
We had
Sorry.
Parks and Raz on last week, and it was a very similar vibe. Those Lauren and Josh.
I haven't met him.
They're so fucking funny. Oh my god. Anyways, I just love episodes like this. It just makes it fun. Anyways, I checked out the new single and it sounds fucking great. I went back and listened to all the singles after that, and I think the songwriting is really good.
Thank you, man.
And the production sounds great. Where was this recorded at?
So the newest one, Worth It, we recorded with Patrick Taylor at his home studio. He's the frontman for Trash Panda,
Oh, okay.
aka Lazuli Vane. Yeah. And this newest recording, I mean, that exactly what we wanted to get out of it, we got,
That's awesome.
The song sounds like we imagined it, I think. Or like he imagined it.
Yeah. Yeah, Pat's great. He adds a lot of psychedelia and wizardry into his production and mixing and stuff.
Just subtle, like just a little something, filling in some little gaps, I did some guitar fill-in overdub stuff that we've never really messed with, and he kind of brought some cool things out of us, some cool effects we haven't used, and I think it just sounds really full and really lush, It's like...
Yeah, there's a lot of character in it.
Yeah.
Definitely. And I love, Patrick is such a creative dude.
Man.
I mean, to live in his head must be like just insane.
Terrifying.
Yeah. But like the magic that comes out of it is phenomenal. And I love after the guitar solo, how it comes into like the harmonies kind of come in full effect, and just, it's a beautiful lead in to this like just majestic sounding kind of section of the tune. And it's just a good attention to detail, I thought,
For sure.
So who wrote this tune?
So Jeremy
wrote this one.
Wrote Worth It.
And this is the first time you've sang on a song, or have you been singing for a while?
I've been singing for like a year or two. This is the first time I put something out on Spotify, streaming services, etc. with singing lead.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, he sings harmonies on Give and Take in the Rain, our second single.
Gotcha. Okay.
This is his first lead vocal track, and his songwriting debut for Starcaller. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I would have never guessed that this was your first time recording vocals for your own song. It's because it's so glaringly obvious when it is somebody's first time.
Usually,
most of the time,
yeah.
like it's like kind of pitchy, or like their mic control is not very good, and you can just hear little things. But I didn't notice any of that. And Chris mentioned that this was your first time doing that, but I wasn't sure. Like when I heard back, I was like, first time for real? And then so it's just wild. So great job, man.
Thanks, man. Yeah, there's a lot of unreleased demos and stuff. So I've had experiencing just with the art of studio recording and stuff. But yeah, thanks, man. I mean, I got like very, very detailed with like how I wanted the melody to be and everything and stuff. And
even the timing is very. I mean, it's that that lead vocal track has got some real swag to it, and just some like personality. It's
That's a good way to put it. Personality, yeah.
I think we ended up like opting out of melodyning it too. Like I'm
Really?
pretty sure Jeremy was trying a couple parts. He's like, I kind of want to like snap that in, and I was like, dude, do not touch that.
yeah, I don't think there was any of that in there.
That's wild.
Yeah.
So this is like a collaborative effort in writing this, or this is like all your song you just brought it to the table?
Yeah, all my song, and then KP wrote out the entire guitar solo for it.
Great guitar solo, man.
Thank you.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
that was out of the stuff we have recorded, that's the first like composed solo. And that's, you know, if you see us play it live, if we play a good show, you'll hear that. So, yeah. Most of the stuff is fairly improvisational with Starcaller. But this is kind of a more concise, pop-oriented tune. You know, it's important to me that solo is almost like a section rather than a featured like improvised part. For me, it's like a ingrained part of the song.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
It's definitely got that characteristic, I think.
Yeah.
And remind me kind of like Brian May-ish, I want to say.
Okay, word.
You know, like
yeah.
just, I mean, tonally and just the way that you approach some of it, I thought,
Cool.
you know, so.
That's awesome. I'm into that.
Hell yeah.
Brian May likes to hit, like, just highlight some stuff with a little harmony overdub.
Yeah.
And that's something I really want to explore, because that take, we played the rhythm track live as a 4-piece. So we had Tanner in the corner on drums, Jacob was DI on bass, and then Jeremy was like, I think we DI'd the piano for the initial, like on a keyboard. And we played the rhythm track, and I told Patrick, I want you to feel the the energy and the tonal shift when the solo comes in. So the rhythm guitar track and the solo are all on one track, like all in one go. So I'm playing the rhythm, and I click on the overdrive and like flick, my pickup selector to the humbucker. And if you listen carefully, now that you'll hear the guitar go from clean to, right before the solo comes in.
Wow. And that was done on purpose.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's like a very organic sound.
Yeah.
It's like a very subtle thing, but if you listen back, well, I guess like as a guitar player, then you can kind of pick it up. Yeah, Patrick's great to work with. I definitely want to go back to him for a lot of my other stuff, mainly for like vocals and things of that nature.
Yeah, I mean, he's a phenomenal producer, man. Are you guys working on anything else to take to him?
Yeah.
Like there's probably 10 or 15 Starcaller originals that we need to record.
Yeah, we're in the assessing our options stage of like, all right, we have all this material. What's our next release? Is it going to be an EP? Is it going to be another single? Is it going to be an album? And obviously finances come into play, and strategy. Like there's a lot of factors that we're taking into consideration for that. And I think Trash Panda's on tour right now, so he's not available for us right now. But,
Right.
Yeah, we got some stuff.
All right, guys, this episode's brought to you by Best Buds CBD Store. If you're like me, maybe THC isn't always the right high for you, or maybe the legal status of THC has you a bit hesitant to indulge. So at Best Buds CBD Store, they have an array of CBD and Delta 8 THC products. These guys truly care about their service, so everything is meticulously sourced and prepared to deliver a top-notch product and experience. If you head to their website, you'll find all kinds of educational information regarding Delta THC and CBD. Not to mention, if you use promo code BotB Pod, that's BOTB Pod, you'll save 10% on your order. This is not a one-time deal. If you use promo code BotBpod, every time you place an order with Best Buds, it will give you 10% off. That's in perpetuity, forever. So head over to bestbudscbdstore.com and start saving on all of your CBD and Delta 8 products. Enjoy, guys.
And so who's kind of like making the decisions on whether or not it's going to be a full-length album, an EP, or you're just doing singles? And who's kind of thinking of the strategy of releasing this stuff?
I'd say all of us.
It's been pretty, it's pretty openly, discussed. Me and Jeremy kind of, so far at least, have been the principal like songwriters. So in terms of production, direction, and stuff like that, it's been mostly us. But those kind of administrative decisions are definitely collaborative.
Okay.
We're all talking and discussing, our options.
Cool.
Yeah.
And so the other guys, Tanner on drums.
Tanner Watts.
Tanner
and
Watt.
Jacob Workman on bass. Yeah.
Okay. Why do I know that name, Jacob Workman?
He played with Ivan. Is maybe the first point you might recognize him from.
He did.
Okay.
He's been on the scene.
IPB and
Right.
played in Pajama Dogs.
He's been hitting the jams. He's
around,
definitely a staple of
Awesome dude.
Jack's scene. Yeah.
Cool. Hell
One of
yeah.
my favorite people ever.
Tanner, I think I met. He's Tyler's cousin.
Tyler is his
Nephew.
uncle. Yeah.
Uncle. Okay.
Yeah.
Got you.
Tyler from the Honey Hounds.
Yeah.
And Tanner also plays in Hooligans.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cool. And so how did this band kind of formate? Is that the right word? Formate?
Yeah.
Formulate.
Formulate.
Formulate. Yeah.
Form.
Form. There you go.
So KP was playing with Jacob before we started playing together.
And Tanner, yeah.
And Tanner. Tanner too?
No.
Yeah, no, not
actually.
Tanner. Tanner's the newest. And
Yes.
I really formed with KP trying to find a band for his original music. So he was playing with Jacob, and there's some other drummers in the mix. And then I met KP, I guess through Jacob and like a lot of the Liza Addict / Pajama Dog guys.
Yeah.
I heard his music, his original music, and I just really wanted to play with him and stuff. And then it kind of became like a place for me to play recreate my original music too with the band.
Yeah.
And then we found Tanner because he moved into town from Missouri, and like you said, he was Tyler Watts is his nephew, and I knew
Tyler is his uncle.
yeah, Tyler is his uncle, and he knows like Max Sargon and stuff. And Max was telling me like, hey, you guys should get Tanner Watts as your drummer if you need a drummer. He's really good.
I feel like we jammed with him at like a T-Dubs, some kind of T-Dubs back room. I don't know. Have you been to T-Dubs?
Yeah, I went there like once, I think.
They do like a speakeasy Thursday night.
Yeah, it's a super cool vibe.
It is. It's really cool,
Yeah.
especially if you're playing.
Wasn't that
Yeah.
on your birthday last year?
It could have been. I've had my last 2 birthdays there. One was really fun. One wasn't. But,
Let's get into
Should
that.
we talk about it? I remember that one. Yeah. It was, the rest of us had a lot of fun.
They did. So the first one, which would have been my 22nd, Max had been booking the back room there and kind of like hosting it. It was like a jam with Max or whatever. I
remember that.
But
yeah.
I told Max like my birthday's gonna be on a Thursday. It'd be super cool to throw a little show jam back there. Like, I pretty much cherry picked my band. Had Max on keys, Adrian Walker from Twin Sons on drums, because he and I had played in a band called Starboard Soul back in the day.
Okay, yeah.
Adrian's a monster, A-Train. But it was me, Max, Adrian, and then JC Hernandez on bass.
Oh, hell yeah.
And, I told him, I'm like, it's my birthday. I'm picking the song list. Like, let's do our thing. And that one went really well. That was super fun. And kind of helped me get to know all those guys better, which, super important. But this past year, we tried to do like a Patsy show Patsy / free for all jamboree. I'm sure you guys have talked about Patsy's Daydream.
I already see Chris smiling. over
Actually,
there.
yeah, all three of us play in that together.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're all in every band together.
Played.
So
Yeah, so we had like we did a Patsy set, and then after the set break, it just sort of turned into like free for all. Whoever wants to play
started grabbing instruments.
yeah, it was. And I was like the sound guy on my birthday, like packed room. Friends, you ever have the collision of like your friends from different circles are all meeting up? And it's like all my weird music friends, like all my tea friends are meeting, like my friends from college and stuff who, you know, I don't hang out with anyone that doesn't like good music, but they're not as ingrained with the artist wacky culture, you know?
Right.
So there's just a lot of
And your parents were
awkwardness. That's fine. They're always a blast. I mean,
there. I mean,
Yeah,
they're a
really
riot.
chill.
They're so fun.
I love
you know.
Kevin's parents.
I think I took a rumpy with my mom that night, actually. But
Yeah, Kevin didn't have fun,
Well,
and then
so-
I didn't.
he walked out after backing up all the gear and being the sound man, and then also like playing the officiator in the disorganized, chaotic jam.
Yeah.
And one of his friends tries to pie him in the face, and he just drives home.
He left.
He just
So-
left.
Yeah, it became our mission after we saw how much fun. It became my mission after seeing how much fun he was having to make sure he had even more fun.
Oh yeah,
He appreciated so much because
well,
every little thing added just to the fury meter, and it was like
his mom
KP's
thought it
chill-
was funny too. That
Oh,
was the
she
best
was
part.
cracking
Oh, my
up.
God.
Like we got a video of him trying to get pied, and she's like dying. She's like thinks it's hilarious, and he's like about to commit vehicular manslaughter trying to get out of that parking lot.
yeah, dude, I was like ready to just go home and call it a night because I've historically just been a bad sport on my birthday. You know, I'm just like
Kevin doesn't like his birthday.
I just don't want to be bothered. It's just like.
I feel that for sure.
But this one was the peak botherdom. It was like everyone's gonna bother me tonight, and
Especially all the responsibility of having to run the sound and then host the show and like
Play a good Patsy set.
yeah, and then like and then like entertain all your guests that are like different groups, and that's just like already
is.
anxiety ridden as it is.
it is a lot, yeah. And
We should have just gone bowling.
And we
zip lining, you know, it's something just keep in mind.
something chill.
Let's go bowling, dude.
And
That's what we're
not,
doing next year.
yeah, not inviting any of us.
Yeah, you guys are not invited. I'm gonna get a lane for one and bowl against myself and get pissed off when I win.
Yeah.
But the pie, I mean, so Quinn, my buddy Quinn, showed up, and we have a tradition of, you know, whether it be Snapchat or just like text videos, it'll be really good song. Instead of just sending your friend a song like, hey, check this out, it's just a video of you listening to the song with just a nasty stank face, you know? It's just like, oh. And he has been compiling these for years and made the little pointy birthday party hats covered in these screenshots, and including, it wasn't just screenshots, it was also like bad drunk photos of me like passed out drooling on myself and stuff. Completely unique, like 100 hats, no repeat photos. And so everyone's wearing these hats of my most embarrassing moments. It's just like a recipe for
Isn't that fantastic?
That's so good. I love that. But you know what, man? That's like a great sign that people really love you.
they do.
You know what I mean?
For reasons inexplicable.
Yeah, we
but
still haven't figured it out, but
No, that's
something going on.
That's awesome.
And he can, he can handle what he dishes out.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Because he
Except for
likes
that
to,
one night.
He likes to dish it out.
Well.
Believe me, Kevin Peacon loves to dish it out. But he can handle it.
Oh, he can take it. This one's
No.
been pretty tame so far.
He can take more than you
Yes.
can give.
It's true. The boy loves to be abused.
Well, just not on my birthday.
Yeah.
That's where I draw the line.
Fair.
364 days a year, it's on though.
It's full on. I don't remember if it's sadist or masochist. Both. Give me them both. I'll fill both those roles
Oh my God.
all day long.
Yeah. So all of his songs are sad. So you can guess
Well,
what all my songs are like.
yeah. So we do kind of have.
So that
and
songs are
this
the
is
best.
Fully self-proclaimed. No one has said this is one of those like I wish someone gave me this compliment. You know, like the Brian May thing. I've never gotten that. That was fucking awesome. But I have this like fantasy of us doing kind of a Paul and John thing, like from the Beatles, because all my stuff is pretty dark and, you know, grungy, whatever. And Jude just got like these love songs that are so pretty and palatable, you know, and it's like, I would never compare us to the Beatles, but that dichotomy is starting to develop, and I'm not against it. I'm not opposed to it.
I was gonna actually
I think
make
your
a
mom
mention.
said that.
Well, she's so sweet.
I was gonna make a mention of that because that was the first thing that came into my mind was that like the song sound, like the new single sounds kind of like Beatles-esque
Yeah.
influence, you know, like mid 60s Beatles era, I feel like.
We sent Patrick a lot of references, and so the first two were recorded with Jacob at Pine Studios.
Okay.
So he also killer engineer. You know,
Oh, yeah.
we had a great experience there too. But you can definitely hear the difference in production. Just switching team almost for this newest one. But that paired with the difference in songwriter, like I feel like we've tapped into like a whole different thing. The first two almost sound like a different band, which for better or worse, you know.
Yeah.
And I think it fits the individual song's needs too. Like with Give and Take, you know, it's almost like a country song, and there needs to be like a clean and dry sound to that. And this which is what Jacob does really well. He does like the clean and dry stuff, and then my song is very different. It's wet and like psychedelic, and
It's got more dimensions.
also
to it.
like poppy and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely got that. What was the one before that called?
The first or second?
The second one.
Give and Take.
Give
in
and
the
Take.
Rain, yeah.
That
G&T.
one, yeah, that one had much more of like an Americana kind of vibe. I felt like almost like Grateful Dead-esque, you know.
Yeah.
Especially like at the end when it gets like kind of more jammy sounding,
Bassy,
and
yeah.
which is pretty dope.
And
And November I really liked a lot too.
Cool.
That was like that had more of like to me like this is a compliment. I just want to preface like a 90s rock kind of vibe to it, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I thought, but they stand on their own, definitely, like individually. They're not they're all very different from each other for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I almost would categorize. I said that really weird, but November. That's kind of like we only have 3 songs out right now, but you know the project has been developing over the last year and a half, 2 years, whatever. And November is kind of in that first wave of Star Color original sound, like a lot of the stuff that I brought in when we were forming the band, that I'm like, hey, these are my, you know, acoustic demos. Like a lot of them sound more along those lines, like sort of 90s alt influenced for sure.
Okay.
And then Give and Take and Worth It are more, those are some of like the newer songs we have, but they're, you know, we all liked them so much that we kind of pushed a lot of stuff down the queue. I don't know. I'm excited for where it's going to go because it's already taken such a roller coastery ride in terms of sound,
Yeah, totally. And do you think you're going to go back and revisit the other tunes, or do you want to just kind of move on?
No, there's too many not to go back.
We're gonna have to go back for a good few.
Yeah. And there's a lot of those that we'll do like as Starcaller, but there's also like a handful of those that we'll probably also do as duo or just duo that we have.
Yeah.
Kevin's written a lot of stuff for like a piano sax. I mean, not piano sax. Muscle memory. Piano guitar duo stuff between the two of us.
Yeah. It's kind of the Starcaller reject pile where, because everything, it's kind of weird. I think a lot of bands are like this, but the stuff we usually bring in tunes. Like you're not going to see like a Jeremy Prince, Kevin Peacon co-write very often, So far, like all the tunes we have out are like single writer style. So we're usually bringing in tunes that we already kind of have an idea of what we want to, where we want to go with them. And for me, 98% of the time it starts on acoustic guitar,
Yeah.
So the stuff that I'm like, this probably won't translate to the electric rock band setting. Like we can still do a sort of chill, stripped down kind of version of that.
Yeah. How often are you writing that it's just that you can afford to just throw songs into another project and not worry about not having music for Starcaller?
I mean, there's like a pretty big stockpile right now.
Yeah.
I'm writing a lot still. At least like ideas, a riff or something every few days or whatever.
Okay.
But full song flushing out has not been as frequent. But I had one of those like breakup songwriting renaissance periods a couple of years ago where there's just like we still haven't even gotten through all that stuff,
Wow.
So you got to be constantly writing and reinventing yourself or whatever, but having like a good base of like we need some material, we got it, that's been really cool.
Yeah, the backlog is
Helpful.
important for sure.
It's frustrating though, man, because the new stuff, like some of the newer Starcaller stuff we've been writing has been like upbeat, fusion-y instrumentals, like yeah, which has nothing to do with the stuff that we have out.
Kind of encroaching on me and Jeremy's turf a little bit.
Right? Yeah. Shout out Time Wise Quintet.
Yeah, you better shut him up.
Yeah, fucking release the videos already, god damn it.
Release the Kraken.
There's some clips out there. You'll see them.
Yeah.
Clips. It's frustrating having all this new stuff and this new sound, and you're like, fuck, we still need to get all the stuff out that we already have,
Yeah, totally.
So playing live, I think you have, the floor is yours. It's not like, all right, here's $1,000 every song or whatever.
Right.
It's like you can play whatever you got. So our live shows are like we have a lot more stuff than is presented online so far,
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think it really has to make sense either.
No, it's
Like in terms of like, oh, this was our 90s alternative phase. This was our modern contemporary instrumental phase. This is our like singer-songwriter poppy phase. Like it doesn't really have to make sense. Like I feel like just putting out as much as you can is the best protocol to follow.
Yeah. I think there's definitely examples of artists out there that are jumping genre-wise, and releasing music that's, every album has its own flavor to it. And that could be, Corey Wong's a great example of that.
Yeah.
But even earlier than that, Stevie Wonder was like doing these amazing pop, funk, R&B songs, and then would like just throw a fusion song in there just for shits and giggles,
Oh, it's sprinkled. That fusion is a little sprinkled on even the pop stuff.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
definitely get what you're saying.
Yeah, so it's like So I think but there's, to me, like there's a way that you do it, because like you don't want to sell yourself as one thing and then just take a left turn. You know, like you want to kind of, at least the way that I would think about it is like the band itself would be like pushed as a band that diversifies its music, you know what I mean? So people know what they're buying into before, because otherwise it's like you put out a record and then they really like this thing, and then without even letting people know, you're gonna do like a whole different thing, and then they don't like that, and then you have to find a new fan base, and it's like it can be a little tricky, you know? But I think there's definitely a way to do it, and I think nowadays there's like no better time to be explorative in how you approach that kind of stuff, you know?
Yeah, it's true. I feel like, and it's always best in hindsight to, like, before you put out something full length, to have a good bit of singles or like EPs or whatever, and then you can kind of start to group things together for like what they are. But yeah, I really just say that coming from a place of, we only have 3 singles out. Like, let's just keep the ball rolling, and then like
Definitely.
we'll be able to put out full length albums of like, all these have lyrics, or like these are instrumentals. This is like an instrumental album and stuff like that. But yeah, quantity.
Yeah, totally. Quantity. So what's the if you're writing in this kind of more fusiony instrumental kind of way, what's the resistance to just moving forward with that and not revisiting the stuff in the past? I'm not even suggesting that's what you should do. I'm just curious as to why you wouldn't want to just go down that road.
Just start, like, go where the wave takes us.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know. We haven't completely established ourselves as anything yet. I don't.
Right.
think,
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
So, if things start going well in that direction, and the stuff is hard. I mean, we're not completely tight on all the new stuff that we've been bringing in, but I definitely think, we played a show with the band Matcha from Gainesville, probably about a month ago, a little more, at 1904, and they brought such a danceable, like, upbeat, fun, like, everything they did was you never stop moving, and so with the Star Color stuff, we're definitely songwriting oriented up until this point, but the newer, when I describe like the more fusiony, funky stuff, it's written with the kind of intention of like, we want this to move, we want everybody dancing, we want some booties shaking out there,
Hell yeah.
And if that ends up being our vein, where like you come and see us to rock out and dance, I wouldn't have a problem with that. But we do have these songs that we also love, that we love performing, and I think we can speak for the rhythm section. They love the tunes, So I don't think we'll ever move to a point of like, we don't do our old stuff anymore.
Yeah.
But who knows? The future is a mysterious lady.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, we don't even have old stuff to not do yet.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to hear the rest of the stuff that you guys put out. I think it's going to be, if it's anything, if you're approaching the writing anyways, and anything similar to what you guys have already put out, then that's very exciting. There's really a cool thing happening right now in Jacksonville. There's like a new kind of surge, I feel like. When I first moved here, there was like, Park Urban Band was doing their thing, and Herd of Watts was doing their thing, and you had Greenhouse Lounge and Lucky Costello, and there was like this emerging jam band kind of scene, and it was blowing up, and it was like very attractive to somebody who was coming from a scene that I didn't really know what was happening down south. And then all that kind of started to settle for a while, and then there wasn't really a lot going on, and now it seems like there's this kind of next generation like you guys that are starting these cool really song driven bands. Like the jam band thing isn't so prevalent right now, but I kind of like the song driven stuff because I think that there's more, I don't know, I think it draws a different kind of audience member, and it draws a different kind of attention from, you know, not to get like too whatever with it, but like, you know, money people and stuff, you know, like people invest in things that are marketable. And that's where a lot, you know, we had Tori Nance on last week, and you guys on Parks and Raz, and like all this, you know, Madison Grace, and a lot of the songwriters that are kind of emerging now. It's cool to see that, you know.
Yeah, I can definitely feel that shift. And I think, at least for me, I think I was a little late on the, I don't want to say the peak or fall or whatever, but the sort of jam bubbling explosion, you know, that you're referring to. I was kind of late to the punch on that. And most of those bands you just named like weren't even around by the time I got to Jax.
Right.
But I can definitely feel the shift. And again, I mean, you know, not a Jacksonville band per se, but Flip Turn, for example, like very song driven, you know, they're not a jam band at all. It's songs really well arranged and orchestrated and planned out, thought out. Trash Panda again.
Trash Panda,
And live, they do have the element of like, here's the songs that you know from our records, but we're going to take it someplace, and you might hear an improvised synth solo or guitar solo, you know, and that has been super influential on us in terms of focusing on the song and bringing it to life, bringing from your imagination to, you know, the real world, whatever. But we love to jam, and we love the Dead. We love jam bands. So we have no reservations about taking it to a new place and maybe not doing it just so every night, you know?
Totally.
And see, I feel like that's where it helps with the marketing too. You know, you bring up like Dead & Co, for example. You know, chicks like it because there's John Mayer,
right?
Like singing songs, and then guys like it because it's Bob Weir and, you know, Phil Lesh and all those guys jamming out. And
Phil left. It's O'Teal.
It's kind of this. It's kind of, well, yeah, my bad. O'Teal.
Phil doesn't even like it anymore.
It's okay that they look exactly the same.
Oh my god.
We need that sound effect, bro. I'm telling you.
Where are these sound effects?
Mickey doesn't even play
Are they just
anymore.
not coming?
Yeah,
through
they're
here?
coming straight to the mains.
No. Yeah.
It's kind of the same way with Dave Matthews Band too. You
I
know,
was just gonna say that.
you get
Phil Lesh plays with Dave Matthews
the
too.
songwriting. Yeah.
Phil Lesh gets confused for Stefan Lassard all the time.
All the time.
You get the poppy stuff and the jammy stuff kind of mixing together in its own unique fuse.
As of now, to me, and of course I'm a raging Dave fan.
Yeah.
You know, but he sort of sits right at the pinnacle on the graph of, you know, songwriter, like these are very song driven. This is like a guy's introspective, you know, he's pulling right from the soul, well orchestrated. If you listen to the record, it's like a very composed and arranged piece of music, but they can jam like lunatics. So they'll take this thing that you're familiar with, and, you know, for me, I'm like all about it. I love this tune. And then they will just jam it into a crazy new place that you didn't know it could go, you know?
100%.
So I think that element is, I don't see us straying from that, you know, anytime soon. The thought and the song as a concrete slab, whatever, like the song exists. It's not a free for all, but we're gonna stretch it. And, you know, like November, we've always, even before we recorded it, we've always done that ending, you know, the progression, like we go back to that, na 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 na, and they're typically it's a free sax solo. Like however much space he wants, we'll give it to him, and we can bring it up as much as we want, and then kind of soft ending. But on the record, I'm like, Jude, let's make this like a 4-minute song.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's give you 8 or 16, whatever it was. And that was weird. Like that was different for us. We weren't used to it. And I think even like solo wise, you had to change your approach a lot. And it came out beautifully.
Yeah.
But
I've always been interested in both aspects in like their own regards too. So like being able to bring them together and incorporate improvisation into like a song with lyrics and really specific parts is the best to me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to ever give up one just to like stay with another. Like I want both.
Yeah, no, I totally empathize with that because like I think you can kind of reach a broader audience too because there are people like myself that want the album experience and then you want the live experience.
Exactly.
Right. So if you can promise, and there are some people that want both experiences to be the same, and that's totally cool too.
Yeah.
But like, for a band that if you want to build like a culture within your band, like Dave Matthews has done, and then, further down the line in the jam stuff with like Fish and the Dead and all that, like, I think you have to give people a different experience every time live, and that's what the improv element adds. Like people will buy multiple shows or whatever. If I know I'm going to see the same show, I'm just going to see one show, and I'll wait for the next tour. But so it's cool to be able to do that, and then also have this polished, highly thoughtful music being recorded for the record. So I think you definitely broaden the base a lot by doing that, I think.
Yeah, and even looking further ahead, we're not touring right now, but say we were touring in, 3 or 4 years or whatever, and we were playing, 2-3 nights in a row, like multiple times throughout the tour. I wouldn't want to...
Same venue, multiple nights?
Yeah, same venue, multiple nights, or even just back-to-back nights in different cities, what have you. I wouldn't want to play the same show every single time, like the same hour set. And it kind of gets down to like deeper to like your kind of the identity that you have as a performer. And yeah, I mean, like one of my favorite bands is Fish that you just mentioned. And like they do that so well, and I feel like that's why they keep such a huge fan base, is because they give you a different show every night. And there's certain songs that they'll play in the beginning of their set that'll make you think, oh, they did this song, they might go into this vein of their music now, and it's like tonight's show is gonna be kind of like this,
right?
As opposed to like last night they opened up with this song, so it's gonna kind of be in like this vein over here that kind of overlaps with that vein. And it just adds like so much mystery to the shows, I feel like, and it just has the audience going like, oh, what are they gonna do next?
Yeah, 100%.
I can't believe they just pulled that out.
That's part of building the culture and the music.
Yeah.
So you get people to kind of have a discussion about it, and then it opens up the conversation about what's going to happen, and then it builds the hype, and then people want to go and they want to buy the ticket to the next show and all that, and then they want to buy the merch because then the merch can have something to fall back on, right? So if you can like build the concept of a show into the merchandise, right? Like little Easter eggs or whatever. It's little things like that help to build the culture in the music,
No, it's so true.
And it gives it all staying power. Dave Matthews has been around for 30 plus years, and Fish has been around longer, and then the Dead has been around longer, obviously. And so those bands have the staying power because it not only makes it interesting for the fans, but it makes it fun for you guys too.
Oh yeah.
And ultimately, like, the fans are super important, and the music, but if you guys don't enjoy what you do, there's nothing for people to appreciate, So keeping it fresh for you, I think, is super, super important.
Exactly.
And I think, we've discussed the idea, and I'm totally confident that we could be the term indie doesn't really mean anything. But like when you think of an indie rock band, like you go see their show and these guys, they're on tour, they have a set, you know, and it's start to finish, like it's a whole planned out thing. This song goes right into this, whatever, you know, even up down to the talking points and the jokes in between songs. Like we could absolutely be that band, you know. We have the material and the, you know, forethought. Like we could and might, you know, have a choreographed set where we're like, we're going to do this every night for this run or whatever. But we also love to jam and stretch it out and see where it can take us. And that brings up sort of a tough, you know, cognitive dissonance, like a tough choice, but you almost don't need to make the choice. That could kind of be who we are, is, you know, we can absolutely come out and bang out a 3 or 4 song tight medley, or at least like tell a story, and then, you know, next song we could play a 12-minute sax solo or whatever, you know. So I think that dichotomy like is always going to be present in what we do, and even the culture of both, like the songwritery, song-based indie pop rock kind of deal, where like you have everyone singing along and, you know, like 18 to 25-year-olds going crazy. I'm all about that, you know. I would love to be that kind of band, keep the energy up, play, you know, bills with 3-4 other indie bands, keep it rocking, keep it upbeat. But I also love the jam scene. I love the feeling of a, you know, quote unquote jam band show. You know, you go see, like, Sauce Pocket is, you go to a Sauce Pocket show and they may not even have a set list. Like, it might just be full on improv.
Right.
And you won't know, you don't know if you don't know them. You know, I hang out with this guy way too much. I can notice every little thing, but if you were to go see Sauce Pocket and you realize, like, is this the same song? Like, I don't even know where I'm at, but my feet are moving and everyone's going crazy. Everyone's having a great time. You know, I love the jam culture. I want that. I don't want to stray too far from that, you know?
Yeah, totally.
I always want us to be artists that could fit right in at Swanee or, you know, any of these jammy minded festivals, E-Forest, whatever.
Yeah, and you know, you already have, like, obviously there's that jam scene at Swanee, but then you also have like these indie artists coming in, like you know, like Flip Turn or Mount Joy, or like you know, Briston Maroney was on that big festival.
Echoland.
They got canceled, you know. So
What a shame that was.
there's already, like, these scenes are already merging very much. So, you know, like when we were at Okeechobee, you had like Trash Pan and Sauce Pocket there, but then like it was at like an EDM festival.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't, you know, where's, you know, I see some connections like along the way, but if you can merge that together in a festival, then you can merge anything.
Yeah, I mean, that's
very true.
That's kind of, you know, been, it's funny, like every generation has the thing that starts to merge with the jam band. Like the jam band world stays constant, right? It's like, it's there, they have their festivals, they have their crowds, and then every like decade or so you have a new genre of music that wants to start dipping its toes in that world. You know, in the 90s it was like the blues rock stuff and some of the poppier stuff like Counting Crows, and like we're trying to like kind of get in there, and Black Crows and that kind of stuff. And then
all the crow bands,
all the crow bands, bro. They're all the same, bro. And then
Just like Nickelback.
yeah. And then like the late 90s, early 2000s, you kind of have, you know, a lot of like the jazz guys started to really kind of get into that world. And then you have now like the indie scene is starting to like kind of dip their toe. I mean, they've been doing it for a little bit, but now you're starting to see it like really a lot more prevalent. So, but I think it's interesting that that's kind of like, it's a sought after market because the fans are very open-minded about, as long as they can, as long as it's good and authentic, it doesn't really matter. The fans will appreciate it. And but what's cool about where you guys are at right now, I think, is that there's like really no lane that you have to pick at the moment. You just keep doing what feels right for you and being authentic. And eventually you'll play every single show. You can hop on a show with Sauce Pocket. You can hop on a show with Trash Panda. You can hop on a show with whoever you want. And you can really, like, there's no standard yet. No one expects anything at the moment.
Yep.
You know, and then eventually you'll find your people, and then you'll kind of, you know, you'll pick a lane and you'll start going. But like, that's just, you know, it's such a beautiful time for where you guys are at.
Yeah,
you know,
I'm stoked about it. It's fun just talking about it.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
And that's, I think that that whole ideology of, you know, open-mindedness and good is good. You know, a country song can be good. A rap song can be good. If it's an authentic, really well done version of whatever it is, I'm gonna like it. Like, you know, us as we're always thinking about things through the fan lens. Like, we're such music fans, you know, everyone in this room, we are all players and identify ourselves as musicians, but we didn't start doing this just because like a guitar felt cool in my hand. Like we all love music and all music, you know, so there's no reason that we can't sell ourselves as that to people like-minded, you know, who are down for whatever, as long as it makes them feel something and it's not some watered down, you know. You can't be like a wannabe of anything. You got to just be you, and if it's cool, you know,
it'll catch on.
Yeah,
it's just what happens, you know. Yeah.
It doesn't really have to make sense.
No, I don't think anything I just said made any sense.
No.
Chris is gonna have some sniffing to do.
Oh, he always comes in and sees me working on the podcast, and he doesn't realize how much he's queued up for me this week. It's crazy.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna be like a 14-minute episode after I cut it all out.
Get your shovel out.
Good.
Start scooping.
I was gonna say something. I just lost my train of thought. Thank you, Chris.
Yeah. Pretty par for the course.
Yeah.
Thanks for pointing at me, asshole.
Name one good thing you've done this whole time.
Dude, nothing. I turned the camera off.
Off.
Yeah, I didn't get the mic stand out of the car for Anton.
You looked up a Paul Walker fact.
I was late.
all he did.
Everything.
You were like, yeah, just do all the things that I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your phone went off in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it, your first episode or 129th? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Fuck, dude. I really had a point that I wanted to.
Was it a foot thing?
Was it?
It was a footnote, actually.
Yeah.
It was a footnote. Yeah.
I just realized how far we've come from the real main idea of this episode.
I know.
Which is the foot.
The foot thing. We need to really. Yeah. Let's get back to this. Fuck, dude. There's a one.
All right, wait. So we were talking open-minded music fan of everything. You know.
Yeah.
If
there's no lane.
is that starting to ring any bells?
No, it's okay. It's all good. There's other things afoot to talk about.
How nice are your feet?
My feet?
Yeah.
My feet are actually not bad. Although I am a little concerned because my Willa had not great feet, and I hope that I don't get those feet when I get older.
Yeah.
So
my dad's got some troll feet that I've inherited. So
really?
Yeah, they're already kind of curling and gnarling. So
yeah, that's how mine are looking too these days. But yours are like fucking. You got like a stump for a foot, and these little like
I got
tiny appendage. These things are just popping off.
I got 13. I got 13 wides.
Okay.
Wides.
And you know, there's an app I'm gonna try checking out.
You're not grabbing shit with those toes, bro.
No, these are definitely stompers, not grabbers.
Yeah.
Stompers.
The fuck, bro.
Yeah, these are stompers. You need your. They're wide. They've been stepped on by horses a lot, so they're. I'm convinced they're just a little flatter than most.
Is that true?
Yeah. Wow. Well, I grew up on a horse farm, so like.
Oh, you have flat feet?
Well, they didn't start off that way, but they've been broken enough to. They're wides. Because they were 13 narrows at first, and then they just got flattened out.
Okay.
Yep.
I've lost interest in this conversation.
Anyway, check out my feet finder.
Yeah, I don't know where this conversation originated.
Yeah, where did it originate?
Where did we spur this idea from?
Well, we can do some unpopular opinions if you guys are down for that.
I'm super down.
Fuck yeah.
Let's do it.
I got one.
Chris, you want to start us off this week?
pointing between two at the moment. I'm trying to pick which one I'm going to go with.
It's opinions, right?
Well, there's
You got to save one for the next week, I guess.
It's true. Well,
Yeah, I've got like a backlog on my phone.
Damn.
Yeah, I got a lot of opinions,
yeah,
bro.
he's an opinionated guy. It's great. So
I'm sorry to hear that.
all right. Well, I think voicemails are just obsolete at this point. I don't think we need them. A couple of phone ones in a row, but we don't need them anymore. Like the only time I use a voicemail is getting used is someone says, "Hey, call me back." No shit. I have a missed call from you. I'm going to call you back. That was the voicemail.
Yeah.
And then you could also just type out your thing to me. Like no info's been used in a voicemail in a hot second.
I agree. I think voicemails are pretty irrelevant.
Unless you're like breaking up with your girlfriend or something.
That's true.
No, that's
Then you need to avoid. Then you need to just.
If she doesn't
avoid-
answer, just leave her a voicemail.
my one counterpoint.
fucking love that.
That's a great method.
Yeah.
And then you're free.
Tried
You can
and
do
true,
whatever
I
you
guess.
want.
Is this a dating advice podcast now?
It could
I
be.
think. See, we're talking about finding a lane, whatever works.
Yeah, you know.
If that ends up being the audience,
I'm not shying away from a good date
a
conversation.
good date
Me
combo. My only counterpoint to that is that Siri has gained the ability to transcribe voice messages.
Yes.
So if you get a voicemail and you don't want to listen to it, like she usually has it scripted out for you to read, and sometimes it's really off and like the translation isn't quite there, and they're really funny.
Yeah.
See what I
So you like it for entertainment value?
I do. I'm
Okay.
never gonna, like, whoever that was, you're not gonna call back.
Yeah.
But I got a laugh out of it,
Yeah.
Well, what I thought you were going to say is that Siri has been the voice of your voicemail, is what I thought you were going to say.
You wish.
Yeah, it's pretty close, though,
You wish. Yeah.
to have like
I
a...
feel like mine has a little more personality. Siri, I love you, but a little bland,
Yeah, but
little
the kind of, young female answering the phone is...
young.
Oh, I get. I
about
see where
the
you're getting
same.
that. That
Speaking-
was
I knew it was gonna come up.
okay.
Speaking of voicemails,
We're going to play KP's. This has been talked about a few times, and really, I just want to know what's up with that,
You're
wait.
just calling me to say what's up.
Also,
Yeah,
who-
I just called to
Could've just
say,
texted.
who is that?
what the fuck?
What 9-year-old girl is
Yeah,
on
took your phone.
voicemail?
Can we
And-
play it?
Play it.
Oh, yeah,
Let's hear
actually,
it.
we are going to...
Let's call KP.
We're gonna do it.
We couldn't do
feel
this any
the
sooner.
climate of this podcast turning to a very incriminating note.
Incriminating node.
I don't
I mean,
find
what-
this to be
what-
fun at all.
The game is afoot.
What girl was like selling you Girl Scout cookies and then held you hostage? What
Here
do we
we go.
got? Here
Well, why don't I
comes.
just decline it? So
Don't.
Oh,
Perfect.
fuck
No.
Yeah.
off.
No.
Well, if you decline it, it'll just go right to voicemail, right?
That's true. It'll
that's
go
right.
I'm in the
faster.
worst spot. Okay, Chris Underdahl. Oh, this guy can kick rocks.
Ending. Whoa.
Hi, you've reached Kevin Peacon. Not here to take your call right now because I don't want to buy your Girl Scout cookies. Please leave a message. Thanks.
Beep.
That's a 9-year-old girl.
I feel
the
like
mailbox is full and cannot accept any messages at
Oh.
this time. Goodbye.
This
So you
is why
had to go.
folks-
You had to go through the whole
no, that's not.
torture of the 9-year-old voicemail
Hold on.
just to find out
Just
that
to
you
be
can't
denied.
leave one.
That is that you for real?
That's me at age 10, I believe, 10 or 11.
Wow, what a drastic difference.
It's,
I mean, I guess it's been 12 years, but still.
I can't believe it's still like
On your
I've
phone.
had so many phones since then, but I guess your voicemail is your voicemail.
just-
I mean,
You know, you
can
can
It's like
change
your
it.
social
Change it.
security number. No, I'm locked in.
I'm locked in.
I'm locked in. Yeah, why don't you show him that next, Chris?
It
I'll
sounds
pull
like
it up in post.
it sounds like you inhaled a bunch of helium.
I might have.
I don't think so, though.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember if maybe I did do that or no.
I don't remember.
That's so
The
wild,
little girl
dude.
in him is always trying to escape, and that's just something we got to remember.
The little girl in my room is always trying to escape.
So who? Okay, well,
Can confirm she's
Guys, why are you trying?
so who?
We had to call a locksmith to get that door relocked the other day.
Okay, Mr. Cluster, fuck over there.
Oh man, that's wild, man.
This is
That's
getting way too personal.
Okay.
I love it.
all right.
Who's next? Not me. I know.
Jeremy, you got an unpopular opinion?
Give me a rain check on that one.
JP.
I do. I have one. So scenes in movies where there's a band playing. Can we start casting musicians as musicians in movies?
I've always
It's
been
not
curious
acting.
about that.
They cast actors and they don't know how to play. So you're hearing the song and just seeing like what I don't know if there's a legit reason, but I would really like to start seeing more accurate portrayals of musicianship in movies.
I feel like that was an older thing. I feel like it's gotten better now.
You think so?
A little bit. Like it's not completely fixed, but like Andy from The Office,
He can play.
Ed Helms
He can
plays.
play.
Sandberg.
Andy
Adam-
Samberg.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Sandler. Like there's
Well, you're
certain-
talking about actors and comedians that can play music, which is different than people
than
that
an
are,
actor that can't play music. I
No,
get it.
but he's saying that like when there's bands playing in movies
That's
or
what I'm
TV shows.
That's what I'm saying. But there's some elements where the actors can play.
Yeah, like I'm okay if you cast Andy Samberg. Like I'm talking, party scene. There's a band playing.
Yeah, he's talking about the extras
and
in
it's
a
just
movie.
terrible miming. You could cast if the actors know how to play guitar. Like that might be something to look for on the resume for guitar player one.
I'm curious if they don't, because I've watched some movies recently and I can't remember which ones they were, but where I've seen the bands play in the background, and I'm curious as to whether or not they're like hiring a corporate band or something to come and just be there, because sometimes you watch the way they interact and you're like, that could be, they look like they could be musicians. Like they don't really know what being in front of a camera. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Maybe it's maybe they are casting musicians and they're just so bad at acting that maybe the inverse is true. Maybe
Exactly.
they need to start casting
Actors, yeah.
I'll do some research.
I've always been curious about that myself, though, because I'm like, well, especially in places like LA where it's such a, like the worlds are just so ingrained.
Yeah.
Like you think like maybe like if they're casting a band, they could just easily find a corporate band. Like you wouldn't need to go through the casting process of like looking at different people. You just like hire a corporate band to just come and stand on stage for a day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've been curious about that.
Yeah. I just think of like the Back to the Future scene where they're playing, and like it's clearly just lit. They're not really trying.
Yeah.
like that's the quintessential terrible examples. But like there's some like Whiplash got kind of close. You know what I mean, with like the whole drumming and stuff like that. And he doesn't play. I think he took drum lessons, but I don't think he played drums before that. I think they made him just be like, here's how you hold it, and here's how you mime.
They did that with Gary Oldman in Immortal, where he played Beethoven. Did you guys ever watch that movie?
No.
It's Immortal Beloved. Great movie. And he plays Beethoven, and he didn't play piano before that, and then he learned to play piano for this movie, and he's playing all the pieces like himself, which is fucking wild.
See,
That's insane.
I guess that's kind of more what my point was leading to, which maybe is not that unpopular, but I want to see more convincing portrayals of like if there's music playing in and it's supposed to be in the scene, like I want to see someone actually playing it, because I can tell, it's like, come on guys, you're gonna spend $100 million on this movie and I can still see this guy playing guitar like behind the bridge or whatever,
Yeah, I feel that.
There was a good one in the Tarantino movie, The Hateful Eight, when the chick played. The prisoner chick, she was actually playing. She was solid. Did you hear about how they smashed the guitar too?
No.
Oh,
You guys know about that?
The
You know
Martin,
about that one?
like the D40.
Yeah,
or
it was
whatever
like
it was.
they got like a 1870s Martin on loan from the Martin shop as an accurate prop, and like they forgot to swap it out, and the guy like destroys the guitar in the scene and destroyed like the.
Oh, I don't think they forgot to swap it. I heard Tarantino talk about this on a podcast.
No.
I don't think they forgot to swap it. I'm pretty sure that they did it. They purposely smashed it because they were trying to stay authentic to the time.
They borrowed,
and it wasn't a loan. I'm pretty sure they bought it outright.
There's no. All right, we're looking into this. Yeah, because I have never heard that. They bought $100,000 guitar.
I mean, dude, those movies have insane budgets. It's not that unrealistic.
I mean, that's all right. That's pretty fucking wild.
Tarantino also an avid foot admirer. I'm
That's
wondering
true.
if we could
I've
tie
heard
that
more of
into
that.
our previous discussion.
I've heard more of that than a
That's
guitar
pretty-
aficionado.
Maybe we can see if we can send him Jeremy's profile.
That's true. Yeah. Well, and just rate.
My
You know what
girlfriend's
I mean?
gonna be so proud of me.
She's not listening to this.
No shot.
No,
But I hope your numbers go through the roof. All of our listeners, if you're out there, check it out. You know what I mean? You might find something you're into. You know what I mean? You might like.
We'll put the link in the description for you.
probably won't.
You might find something you like.
All right, did you come up with an unpopular opinion?
Yeah.
Okay, what you got?
This one might be a little off color.
Send it.
And
Men and women are not created equally.
Let's get into it.
They're just not. They're just not. That doesn't mean that women are better than men or that men are better than women, but we're not created equally because we're just not. Like, there's different roles in society and within the family that women do better than men, and then vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
It's just how it is.
Yeah.
Did you see your girlfriend naked for the first time the other day and make that realization or what?
Yeah,
we're different.
We're not equal. Men are way uglier than women. We're not equal. There's certain things that women do way better, and there's certain things that men do way better. Being pretty is not something that men do way better, but building railroads and infrastructure is something that men do way better.
Well,
and that's just, am I wrong?
No, I mean, there's definitely, generally speaking, a physical advantage that men have. And then there are, like women are typically known to be better multitaskers. So like there's definitely a dynamic where you have a protector and that like out in the world and you have a protector at home. And I think, historically women have been better at protecting at home, keeping their ears and eyes open for, different kinds of predators or threats, and men are better at hunting and salvaging and things like that.
And protecting against such threats.
Yeah.
That their wife tells them about.
Exactly. This
That's
is
who I am.
historically speaking. I think that as society moves forward and it's less about survival, I think that those roles definitely change though.
Oh yeah.
So I think that referencing how things were 500 years ago as an accurate metric for how society should operate today is not necessarily the way to go, even though there's still truth into just naturally we're not equals, but that's not how it's supposed to be. Like we're not supposed to do the same job.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So I know what you mean.
Yeah. And there's women out there that are like fighting for like equal pay. Like, fuck equal pay. If you can, like, if you hear me out.
Here,
this is
brethren.
unpopular opinion here. Hear me out. You shouldn't want equal pay, because if you can do something even better than a man can, then you deserve even more money than a man should.
Mm-hmm.
So it should never be about being equal. It should be about the money you get should be proportionate to the value that you provide in society,
regardless of gender or sex.
regardless of gender. And so I feel like
This is a tough stance.
You're
standing on a toothpick right now, dude.
no, why?
Oh, not by me. I'm just saying this is very unpopular, and it's tough to make the point that I think you're trying to make without offending anyone. Am I wrong?
If you're a woman and you do your job better than a man does their job, you should get more money.
Yeah. Okay.
So why would you want to stay equal?
Yeah, I don't. I don't think anyone's arguing. I think that more of the point is that they should just be starting at the same place rather than like at least have the opportunity to start at the same place.
It's about equal opportunity.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, so again, I don't
No, I
disagree
agree with that.
You're
I agree
cool.
with
Yeah,
that.
okay.
Yeah, I don't disagree with what you're saying. I just think that there needs to be a couple of disclosures, like agreeing that we can at least start from the same foundation and then go up from there. You know, so yeah, I mean, I don't think personally, I don't think there's anything controversial in what you're saying. The problem is that people don't allow for the nuance of the conversation, and they're going to go right for the worst possible scenario, right?
yeah.
And because for all practical purposes, you're in 2023, you're a straight white male. That they're going to assume the worst in you.
Yeah.
I totally agree with everything that you're saying.
Yeah.
But again, you have to give people the context because otherwise they're going to jump to the worst thing.
Yeah, so hopefully they listen to me explain myself afterwards.
Yeah,
That's the problem is if
and
people
shut
don't.
off the podcast. Oh, you straight white male.
That was a bold opening line.
Yeah.
For sure.
Unpopular opinions.
Yeah.
Sex workers are in the minority, so he is a minority guy.
Oh,
Yeah.
slice.
I am.
We should look at the women that are selling their feet and see about what that pay difference is looking like. Because
Yeah,
maybe we can, maybe we should,
Exactly.
maybe we should fight on your behalf to start at equal pay.
Exactly. If not more. If Jeremy's feet are better, if Jeremy's feet are bringing in more new viewers to the site, he should be getting paid more than a chick, who's, or someone of any other gender than Mr. Male Prince over here.
I would
the
agree.
Prince of Jacksonville. We can spin this into something that doesn't cancel our band forever.
Yeah.
I
Well,
like it.
And our
Sweet.
show.
We'll have our
And the show,
we'll have our team look into it to see what the
Team.
the
Well,
team.
our team did so good with the Paul Walker reference that
Yeah, we can edit that out.
actually we can. I forgot how to edit. So
Yeah, it's
Whoops.
nice.
That's what
Chris
we-
lied on his resume.
Well, hopefully,
isn't it pronounced Presumi?
We have
hopefully everyone out there listens before they get offended.
No, honestly, I don't think that what you're saying should be controversial at all. I think it's pretty basic, honestly. It's just, again, and I'm older than you guys, so I've been making the same arguments since you were as old as you recorded that fucking voicemail, right? and the only reason why I come from that like trying to like preach the context thing is because I've been just totally taken out of context on this point so many times.
That's why he's in
Right.
Jacksonville and they ran him out of Miami.
Which, by the way, has developed a sickening fusion scene since you've been there.
I mean, yeah, right. It was me leaving that really allowed it to flourish.
Open wide.
I mean, bro, but Aaron Lebos and Electric Keith, like all those guys have been there since
Oh, so
forever.
yeah,
I used to see them play when I was down there still. Like that's the, I love Miami. It's got an amazing art community and, it's got a great local scene that flourishes in Miami. But those guys have a real hard time getting out of there because there's work there, but it's also like a very hard place to leave. There's not a
6
physically.
hours to get out of Florida.
exactly. And if you want to hit Atlanta, it's like it's 6 hours to get out of 6-7 hours to get out of Florida, and then like your next major city is Atlanta.
Which is another 5.
It's
Exactly.
almost like
So-
going from like Savannah to New York or something like that.
Yeah, it's wild.
That's
going from Miami.
crazy that comparison is pretty valid.
Yeah, it's like 14 hours or something. It's probably it's like 14 hours to get from like Savannah or Charleston to New York.
Yeah.
Are you looking up those foot statistics over there?
It's better than I thought.
Really, men are doing. We're not too bad on the.
It's not terrible. Women are still winning, but
They're winning.
Yeah, as they should be.
yeah, I mean, they
We
look,
shouldn't
women-
it should not be equal.
Women, if
They
they've
look
got
way
better
better.
emotional intelligence, they can multitask better, and their feet just sell. They are selling like hotcakes. What can we do to combat that?
You have to let the markets do what
Nothing.
they do. Capitalism, boys. Am I right?
That's right.
Exactly. Exactly. If
People
you
are
don't
gonna
like
buy what they
capitalism, maybe this country isn't for you.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that in any kind of like harsh way, but this is a capitalistic society. Maybe you should just move to like Netherlands or something. I don't know.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get is
Fucking love
Netherlands.
Hey Siri, is the
Am I
Netherlands
wrong?
capitalistic?
Am I wrong?
I mean, then there's definitely yeah, there's elements of capitalism in all of it.
Yes,
but
the Netherlands is a capitalist state, the first capitalist state in the history. Even I'm not
So
even
my
kidding.
word.
So don't go to Netherlands then. Maybe go to.
maybe we should
I
go
don't
to
know.
fucking communist Canada.
Maybe you should
How
go to
about
school to learn what. Okay.
I know what you're saying, dude. I'm with you.
I do. No,
Let's-
there's things that men are better at on average.
Yeah, these
and
are all
should be
generalities.
compensated as such, and there's things that women on average in general are better at and deserve to be compensated fairly. I agree.
Exactly.
All right, so let's dig Jeremy out of his hole here.
I already dug myself out. Come at me, internet. I'm ready
Are we
for
talking about the foot hole
everything.
or the feminism, the anti-feminism?
Once they
hole?
see his feet, they'll forget everything that comes out of his mouth.
Yeah. Again, link's gonna be in the description,
Link in the
ladies.
bio.
Sax playing included.
That's premium.
All right, my unpopular opinion this week is that the alien hearings are bullshit.
So tell us about the alien hearings. What the fuck happened?
Let's get a slight background.
Okay, so basically what ends up happening is they have like 3 witnesses that come on in front of a Congress and they testify and they give basically their, I think one of them had a firsthand account and then the other 2 had like saw documents or had talked, like spoken to people that had firsthand accounts. And don't quote me on that, but it's something along those lines. Regardless of the fact, there was no proof bringing to the table. It's just like, okay, there was all this like hype about it in the media, and people are like now coming out saying aliens are confirmed, blah, blah, blah. It's like, what makes this any different than a shitty History Channel documentary?
I totally agree.
It's just like there's no, you brought no evidence to the table. I'm not even saying these guys are lying, right? I mean, I would like to believe that what they're saying is true, but without evidence, I don't understand why we went in front of Congress and had these people who have other shit to worry about why we took up all that time to talk about bullshit with no evidence.
They don't have that much to worry about.
Yeah.
I'm sure their hookers didn't mind waiting an extra 20 minutes. You know,
Yeah.
My theory
White
is,
House or whatever.
is on that is paid ads.
paid ads.
Okay. I mean,
They're just trying to make money.
interesting. It could also just be like a distraction though, right? Because then like we find that like there's a at the same time this is happening, they found like a Chinese lab in Fresno or whatever that had all these mice that had COVID in them, and they were doing testing on like gain of function research testing in this lab. And like, you know, the implication is obviously what the implication, I'm not even going to say it, just is what it is, right? But like, we don't really know what was happening there, right? So rather than like really make this the centerpiece story, we have to talk about some other bullshit. It happens every fucking time. There's always something that happens where there's a bullshit distraction when we're covering. And I don't even know that's what they were trying to cover up. It could have been anything, or maybe they're not trying to cover something up. It's just a little coincidental, if you ask me.
It's the old bullfighter. It's the red cape. Like
Exactly.
Truly
look
is.
over here, you know, and then we don't know. I got no clue what's going on there.
And see,
Yeah.
I don't vote. You
with
know,
like with the COVID thing,
I don't even believe in voting. I don't even think our votes count. That's where I'm at.
Especially,
with the shit.
certainly not at a federal level. I'll give you
No.
that for
Yeah.
sure.
So presidents aren't even real, let alone aliens.
yeah.
I mean, the amount of power they have is certainly a lot more limited than what they'd like us to believe. You know,
I'm curious if the aliens and the presidents aren't actually. They're not distracting us from each other. They are the same thing. Have you ever seen an alien and Joe Biden in the same room together? You know?
you raised some good points here.
It's true. I've never seen that.
And I don't mean to point any fingers. I have heard mumblings that someone in this room might be of an alien race sent to spy on the humans.
If I was, I would definitely want you to believe that those hearings were bullshit.
No one said it was you.
I didn't say.
so are
say
you
names.
saying that you are?
I mean,
Because no one said it was you.
well, I'm just saying. I don't know who else has a bullshit rumor about them being reptilian going around, but
You know, I'm going to look into these hearings. I'm curious if there's more evidence than you're leading on.
oh, please
You're
do.
leading us to believe.
Please do.
Fact suppression up in here, dude.
Yeah.
He's one of them, man.
I'm
You
one of 'em.
pulled the red cloak. I feel like a bull in a fucking bullfight.
Yeah.
Getting distracted.
My favorite part of the whole thing is that like there was a hearing, people talked about it, and then the memes were government confirms aliens.
Yeah.
These
Yeah,
people
exactly.
are all retired people. They're not with the government. They're not government officials anymore. They're just people.
And it's not even saying that they're lying. I believe that what they're saying, I believe that their experiences are correct, but like also there's been hundreds and thousands of people coming out about their experiences, and we just
no quantitative.
nothing, and we just shoo it off. And why is this any different? And we've had military people come out talking about it for years as well, and now these guys,
that's big.
these guys, all of a sudden are the ones that get attention with the same amount of evidence, which is none.
Who was
there's
in the hearing? Like,
David Fravor, I think is his name, and it was one of them. He was a pilot with that Tic Tac video that came out a few years back, where it was like a UFO on a radar that the media showed, and it was like them first finally acknowledging UFOs, and David Fravor was talking about that's not his first time seeing that. And then there's people saying, well, it was probably just like a drone from another country because the way it was moving. And then the other people were talking about having firsthand experience seeing what they called biologics from crashes, which is like, a body. And then somebody else was more of like a secondhand account where they talk. I don't really remember exactly.
I heard.
Yeah,
My
exactly.
cousin said there was
Exactly.
an alien in his backyard.
But it's like all military stuff. So people want to, say that people want to give it the time of day, which I think that we should. But it's like, but you didn't bring any hard evidence to the table. So why was it so publicized?
Anton's so offended. He's like, they didn't prove shit on me, man.
Yeah, it's just annoying because you want to, you watch I've been super into this shit for so long.
Sure.
Right. And so I've been going down a rabbit hole since I was like a kid with this stuff. And now it's all over the media. Like now they're finally acknowledging something. We're like, oh shit, they must really have something real this time. And you go and you watch it and you're like, I saw this same thing on the History Channel fucking 20 years ago, dude.
Yeah,
What are
it's
we
just
doing?
we're not making any progress here.
Exactly.
I totally believe in aliens.
Yeah, I
mean,
100% do.
If you don't, you're just kind of dumb. Yeah. And I don't like to use that word.
Which makes it that much
'Cause
more effective when you do.
It also makes me sound dumb just to say dumb. Because there's so many other better words to use out there, but
imbecile
it just does
or
make you kind
fuckhead.
of dumb.
Yeah. Fucking idiot.
Yeah, I don't know. That's my unpopular opinion for the week. So,
Not bad.
Totally.
well, guys, thank you so much for being here today.
Yeah.
I could sit here and just keep talking shit with you guys for a long time.
We might even do that.
Yeah. Where can people find all your stuff?
So we got
Title.
That is technically correct.
Huge title band.
I think
Everyone's like, what's title?
I think Tidal takes
love
better
that.
care of artists than most of the major streaming.
It's a better listening experience also.
I've
They
heard
give you
that.
high fidelity playback.
All streaming.
So if-
Streaming.
He said title.
if you're
Title, you can find us on Truth Media, Truth Social and Title.
Also
Yeah.
Shows is
Shazam.
new.
Our first single was on Shazam.
yeah,
Pandora if you're lucky.
But only the radio station.
If you know, you know.
so anyway, that plug that we were supposed to do, you can find us on Spotify, Apple Music,
Amazon Music?
Amazon Music,
YouTube Music?
all the stuff.
Yep.
YouTube Music,
But-
YouTube straight up.
Everything.
Also Title though.
Mine
It is
yeah.
on Tidal.
It's on 60. It's on pretty much everything that you can think of, but minus SoundCloud.
And you can find a very small portion of the band on feetfinder.com as well.
Ooh.
Yes.
For those interested in a more complete Star Color experience.
Really a head to toe experience, you know?
Again, I can't emphasize this enough. The
Thanks,
link will
girlfriend.
be in the description,
It's
as well as all the links to your music and social media and all that stuff. So, thank you guys for tuning in, and thank you guys again for being here. This is awesome.
Sweet. Thanks
you.
for having me.
Yeah. Peace out. Thanks.
What? Is that bad?
It's an us.
Oh yeah, and Kevin, I guess.
Thanks for having me in my subsidiary.
Us out.
I was trying so hard to like hold that laugh in and just like say peace, but I couldn't.
Thanks for having me. I'm not thankful. I'd like to go on record.
I didn't want a smooth landing. Sorry, guys.
I was Chris's like third or fourth choice on this several times, and
I
this
call
time
KP third for everything. If I get locked out of my house, I call 2 other people before I call him.
asked 3 before me. That's the policy.
KP's also happy to be here, I think.
I am. I had a great time. It was really fun.
I wasn't going to speak for Kevin, you know what I mean?
That's true. It's a pet peeve. I don't like when he speaks for me.
I know better.
All right, guys. Peace out.